Merry Christmas, everybody. KJ4Y is the I. Let me tell you, this is a day after Christmas, and this has been probably the most hectic Christmas I've ever had, but it was fun because I had generations of family here, my grandkids, and I mean, you know, my wife had the trees decorated. Look, we got one tree, we got two trees, we got the Christmas, you know, weekend jazz going. I mean, this has been just an amazing, everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. What does that mean? I get to play with toys, because I bought myself a toy. I had a lot of toys for Christmas that weren't ham radio. A lot of people had given me stuff. And, you know, look, my wife even wrapped, look. She wrapped, there it is. There, look, she wraps it. Everybody take this, steal my wife's idea. We're gonna take the, wrap the paintings as Christmas presents, right? So, I bought myself a toy, and my wife was, you know, kind of like excited. She's like, that's pretty cool. So I figured I'd show you what I bought. Yes, I bought it from gigaparts.com, and I bought it before Christmas, and I forgot, and it got delivered today on a Sunday. What did I buy myself? A 3D printer. I bought myself a 3D printer for Christmas, and I thought, you know, my wife gets me all kinds of cool stuff, but this is the Creative Ender 3 Max. Now, Gigaparts had some cool... What's up, honey?
Breathing, taking a break.
Yes, it's a busy... Merry Christmas, honey.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And what did I buy myself right here in this box?
Wait, gotta show you something.
What? What do you guys show me? Oh, gosh. Did you have a good Christmas, babe?
Of course.
What's today? We're making a video. What's today?
Our 10th year anniversary.
Happy anniversary, babe.
Happy anniversary, honey.
So, honey, I was showing them what I bought myself for Christmas. After all the nice presents you got, what did I buy here?
3D printer.
Okay, so I'm going to show everybody what I bought here, and what do you think? What do you want 3D printed?
You know, to be quite frank.
Neither one of us have it.
Wait, I don't think this is possible.
Neither one of us have it. Neither one of us have.
I would 3D print a bunch of truck keys because my husband likes to lose the truck keys 10 times a day.
Everything we neither one of us have any idea what we're going to 3D print in this. We're not the most creative. My wife's creative. She wraps Christmas presents on the wall, but we're going to come up with something, right, honey? We're gonna come up with something that's unique to 3D print, but I'm gonna show them now. Your time is done in the video.
Time's up.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Your time's up.
Your time's up, that's right.
Ham Radio Concepts is brought to you by HamRadioPrep.com. It's never been easier to learn about ham radio before you take the exam. And Ham Radio Prep makes it fun and guarantees your success. Visit HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code ERIC20 to instantly save 20% off every course you buy. Remember the name, HamRadioPrep.com.
And I'll add to the video saying this. Before I started making this video, I had no idea how hard or what kind of time goes into learning a 3D printer. I automatically assumed I could use this thing and get away with it, and it didn't turn out as planned. There's some poor instructions with this model. There is some poor literature online, and there's a lot of people that say, I have the answer. If you have a problem with your unit, this is why. But it took me a lot of my own time to figure out why I was having these problems. And I think I have it figured out, but let me just continue on with the video to show you where I was starting and what I successfully printed first by myself with no literature research, and then we'll get into what I'm working on now. Okay, so in here we have the warranty policy and the QR code if you want to scan that for warranty and stuff like that. But again, I see this be the next customer of Creality Cloud, excuse me. And I'm not the most creative person in the world. The manual does have the instruction setups. Why do you have to put it together? I'm not sure. Are there some that let you put it together and the others come pre-assembled? Maybe that's a cost thing. I'm not sure. But this is the model, the Ender 3 Max, and the print size is 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters by 340 millimeters. And I thought, they had one in the used section, made by Dreamforge, I think, or something like that. And I thought it was cool. I'm like, wow, I want that. And it was brand new open box, but in the used category. But I asked my friends to get your parts. They're like, no, dude, that's half the size of the print size as the Creality, Ender 3 Max. So they're like, get this one. So I did. And actually, this one was cheaper than the Dreamforge they had in the used section. So, the manual does have the stuff installed. The gantry frame comes to everything you have here. Shows you what you need, how to install the screen. And I was recommended by the guy at Gigaparts, Daniel, who's really in charge of the 3D printing stuff. And a lot of people, this is not just, what he says. A lot of people say this, the BL Touch Auto Leveling Kit. Now, here's the deal. When you're 3D printing, a level base right here is a big deal. Now, there are manual levelers under here. And if you have the right, means of leveling this thing and you can, do that yourself, fine. But it makes it easier when you install an attachment like this. Now, this kit is actually, this whole thing is made in China. And this kit comes from China and it was sealed by Creality. But it didn't have the bracket to install onto this unit. It only had the one for the V2. The Ender 3 has many units, many different kinds. So I looked online, and actually there was plans to 3D print the bracket that holds the leveler. Now, I went that way because, well, what the heck? You 3D print your parts, and whatever. But I could have sent it back. But I told them, I said, hey, it didn't come in here. Now that's not Gigapart's fault. And Gigaparts offered to fix it. I said I didn't want to take time. I don't want to waste time. But this is the auto leveler. And what this does is and again, you don't just screw this on and away it goes. You got to update firmware. You got to screw the thing on. And then you have to let it go. And it's going to go 9 points on this plate and level and see where, if it's, you get it leveled to as much as you can here. And then this takes care of the minute, differences. But I'm going to tell you right now, the documentation for this sucks. And the firmware for this stinks. Now, you don't see very many videos where I'm like, hey, this, that. No, I don't grease anything. Usually if I hate it, I don't make a video on it. But here's the deal. And it's on my counter. I can't really see where it is. China with the Chinglish does a poor job on translating. I followed the directions to the T. It did not work. I went online. They said, hey, the directions are not good. Go online. And then I did this. Then I uploaded the firmware to this. It did not move at all. I had to roll it back to an 8-month-old firmware. So this is working. And the reason you can see this working, and it's almost done, but it does take a little bit of time. And we're going to get into, quality PLA Plus filament versus, Amazon versus ABS. There's a lot of differences, man. This was exciting at first, but let me show you here. It's not all negative. Let me show you what I printed first. Before I had this leveling kit, before I had this stuff, I got it with a test sample of filament, and I didn't even know about leveling the thing. What did I print? Let's go back. First things first is it's packed well, but man, getting this thing out of here, it's really like foreign packed into this thing, man. The wife's outside cooling down from Christmas, so she was like, I can help you with that. But it's got a metal frame. This is all metal, right? And I guess this is the platform. This is called the gantry. And what's going to happen is this thing is going to basically print. But man, getting it out of here, take your time. Get somebody to help you. Take it out of that. That's the biggest thing. And follow the instructions well. It does say, it gives you an idea. And I was like, what the? You got to get this thing screwed in, get the screws right. This is the base. This is the gantry is what they call it. And this thing is gonna go up and down and do its thing here. When it says put everything together with the screws, this is the 4M5 65 combination screws. Gives you all the screws you need, all these little things in individual bags. M510, the Allen wrenches with the little screws, the wrenches. What is that? Oh, looks like a USB with an SD card. Okay. That's what I need, M565. Check it out, it's coming out. Look, I got the screen here. So you got some wires to hook up on the bottom of the screen. Right here, right? Some plugs here. This is pretty simple so far. What I can tell you is the machining on this for the screws is amazing, right? When it says to use 2 M4 25 screws and you put them in here, like they go right in. You don't have to like find holes and you get this thing up here, you throw it in with the Allen wrench, they thread right in. This is all metal right here. And right here, same thing. You know, 1, 2, 3, you throw them in, keep loose, get the screws in, tighten them down. Very solid, very solid. For never having ever a 3D printer before, it's pretty fun to knowing I'm gonna be watching this thing, man. And here's some plugs here. So the plugs are gonna be going into different apparati, right? And you got one down here, over here, and some other ones, right? One over here. So let's get this thing wrapped up. All right, here's the only part that kind of confused me, right? So I get this thing putting almost together. I noticed that there is like a plastic, right? Peels off. What it says in the manual, this makes no sense. Power off the printer. Well, I haven't even hooked anything up yet. The equipment is in shutdown condition, which is misspelled shutdown. After the hotbed is cooled, turn off the clamps on the front platform, then the glass board can be replaced. What they mean in that translation is you pull these, see this? Watch. Ready? Okay, and then I think something happens here, right? I think you could pull the plastic off. That's what they're talking about. To replace. Why would you replace something that's new, and why would it be hot if it's never been plugged in yet? So I think that's what they're talking about. We're gonna take this plastic off, get off here, and then you have the bottom right there. Right here. See, so now this thing comes off. So you don't, it's saying replace it, but no. You're gonna take this plastic off, and then this is gonna slide back in, like that. And then you're gonna put these clamps on in the front, and that's how it's gonna be without the plastic. Pay close attention to when it tells you on X goes to this one, and X goes to that one, and E goes there. It took me just a second, right? So X goes here, and then look, but wait, see the little hidden spot under here, right? Didn't see that one, so X goes there. Nope, that's E. See, I already have it screwed up. All right, here we go. X goes under here. There. Okay. Then, yeah, then this one goes here, and then E goes here. Now, I'm wondering if there's some sort of like, hey, you got it plugged in wrong. There we go. Just pay close attention. You got one here. You got one here, you got one here, and you got one here. All right, make sure to choose the operating voltage of this power supply is not 230 in Florida. It's 115, right? If you can see that. Nope, you can't. All you're looking at is that artisan pasta back there. Not substandard pasta, we're talking $10 a pound. And then there's one wire here. This one, rainbow, kind of hangs out, right? And it fit, it actually fit 1, 2, 3. But it goes in that one because that's what the picture says. And then there's plugs here too. Like, nobody told me to put this one in. But it's here. And at least it was laying over here. But then I was like, whoa! There's one more right here. Z. Actually, it's in the manual. I didn't read the manual. We don't do that kind of stuff when we're putting together a 3D printer like this. And after a bunch of documentation and stuff reading online, I didn't think that a 3D printer would be this, intense. But look, check it out. I'm making something for Michelle. Look, it is working. Guess what it is? No, you won't guess what it is. But it's about 3 hours away. And what I've noticed is the filament, so with the spool, I guess that would kind of be on there better, but there's software, we're going to tell you about that. But check it out. It is working. Would you like to come look at it? Yes, it's 25. Honey, look. This, YouTube's got to see this. That is the very first 3D print. What do you think?
I love it.
What is it?
Snoopy. And he loves me.
So this is the result of not knowing what I was doing, and you saw the progress of this. But look, see, and now there's anomalies. Look, see, you got, what is that, hair?
Nah.
No, it's an error. See, this is what the included PLA Plus or PLA that came with it, and
wait, it was before it was leveled, also.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell them. That was pretty good for my first attempt, right?
This is the product of a first attempt without it being leveled.
And then I ran into other problems where I was trying to do things and it just wasn't working right, and now I know why. But what would you say that was the very first thing I printed? I thought about you.
Fantastic. I'm coloring the nose black and the heart red.
You can do whatever you want.
And then, yeah.
It's cool though, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. There's a lot to learn about different types of filament. You can see what I'm printing right now. We won't go into what that is or why it looks like that, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to tell you about filaments, okay? Filaments here, right? Borrowed filaments and nozzles, and all kinds of stuff, and why. Yes, this is definitely what I think a hobby that has a lot of potential and a hobby that is very rewarding. But in no means can I tell you that this Creality Ender 3 Max is out of the box, that you don't need to know what you're doing. So plenty of projects for ham radio. Like this is something that my friend Jim had 3D printed me out of ABS. And this is a stand and a case for the 705. And he's got the handles that came with it. I gotta get screws, but actually ICOM released their own official. This is, something someone developed for a 705, and a few of the guys in the local Vero club have them, and it's pretty cool to have. See? And you put a couple of the screws in or whatever, and it's got little handles that you can print, that I got. And it comes off of here. So if you don't want the case, you just want to stand, there you go. So a lot of cool projects you can do with ham radio with a 3D printer. Again, this is ABS, and he let me borrow actually some of the ABS right here, and he prints with ABS, I print with PLA, because the ABS you have to have a heated enclosure. You've seen the 3D printers they have a glass case around them, and they print a lot hotter, and to melt it, and it's got to stay hot and meltable, I guess, so that the other layers can stick on it. And I had a problem, so I went with this is one I used, the Overture PLA, which seemed to have pretty good reviews online. It's orange, and then I just picked another one, pink. This is Esun PLA Plus. And, you know, every print manufacturer or 3D print filament manufacturer has different specs on heating temperature or print speeds or whatever. So it really depends. So far, I think that I printed two things. I think the PLA Plus eSun from Amazon printed better than the Overture PLA that I bought from Amazon. So I think there wasn't a single flaw in the pink one, but the orange one had a little bit of running or lines and with the same exact setup. So maybe I'll do a little tweaking and adjust temperatures, because the difference between 10 degrees of nozzle temperature or 5 degrees of bed temperature, the glass bed here, makes a big difference on how that thing prints. All right. Overall, I think 3D printing is something that's fascinated me, but I've sunk about 2.5 weeks so far since Christmas into this printer, trying different things. You know, some printers are faster than the others, some print better than others, some print different plastics or nylon and stuff like that, you know, translucent. They have, you know, carbon fiber, but you have to check, if you're interested in the printer, check the printer first on what it does, what kind, the build size for what you're wanting to build. This one does 300 by 300 by 340, but the regular Ender 3 does half of that, I think. So if you're wanting to print little things, insulators for dipoles, you know, the wire winders, that's cool. I'm going to print some of those so that I can wind my coax and my antennas. Chameleon has those. They usually come with their stuff, and easy to roll up counterpoise wires and pieces of coax and antennas and throw in your backpack. That's another cool thing that I want to do for ham radio. Until then, this is a video just giving you a little bit of insight on what I found and sharing some of my frustration. And the Creality Ender 3 Max, I bought it at gigaparts.com. You can buy them anywhere. You can buy, you know, all the filament on Amazon. You can buy a lot of different, you know, Best Buys. You got the maker bot, whatever. That's like $2,000. I'm not spending that much on it. This cost me, I think it was $269 or $299 for the Ender 3 Max at Gigaparts. It wasn't a bad price. In fact, it was a couple dollars cheaper than some of the other places I saw. And then the filament I bought from them, the pink was and the orange was like $24.95, and I got some on Amazon for just about the same price. So check out the links in the description if you're interested, and more videos are on the way. We're trying to catch up here in 2022. This is KJ4YZI.